it? Is it real? And what is it doing there?
Now they're speaking out, saying there are UFOs in U.S. airspace and they need to be taken seriously.
A family in Highland, Michigan believes their house is actually haunted and thinks something is harming their little girl. They're unidentified in U.S. airspace.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
I'm Todd Bates. I've been investigating the paranormal for years, yet still have no definite answers. Join me on this mysterious journey as we discuss all things paranormal, right down to the little gnomes. Why do millions experience these mysterious phenomenon, yet we have no proof? Welcome to Haunted Voices Radio, where I try and gather the pieces that may one day form yet another puzzle.
And a good evening, one and all. Welcome, Haunted Voices Live, right here, WLTK-DB.com. That's where you need to go. You can watch it over there. All kinds of cool stuff. Those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, welcome aboard. It's great to have you. Post some comments over there for us. Let us know where you're watching us from, what you think. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Meg.
What you like, what you don't like. It's Friday night. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing good. Tired, like always, but I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yep. I look forward to this every week, Todd.
Oh, me too.
Yep.
It's the only thing that keeps me awake this late.
Right, I know. It's like, well, maybe we should do a 4-hour show.
A 4-hour show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. We could do that.
Someday.
Yeah, someday.
Maybe a Halloween special. I don't know.
A 4-hour Halloween extravaganza.
There you go, right.
That'd be cool. We'll interview trick-or-treaters and everything. It'll be phenomenal.
You got it. Look at all these people coming in here. Hi, Courtney.
Well, hi, Courtney.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we got...
John.
Hi, John. We got some fun stuff. We have got author, psychic medium extraordinaire Leslie Sampson's going to be joining us here in a little while. We're going to be talking about her latest book, Find Your Twin Flame. We're going to screw up and learn something.
I love it.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All you fine folks out there. Just to let you know, everything is good to go from the storm, the big storm. We're all back. We're back up and running. All shows are back up and running. All guests are hosting on schedule. It's passed. It's
amazing.
Whew.
I worried about you guys out there. I really did for a second.
What a mess. Eight dead total by that one tornado.
That's it's tragic. I mean, it made news out here even. And yeah, I'm just glad everyone's okay. And
me too.
For those people and their families.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I never want to see something like that again for as long as I live.
No.
That's for sure.
I don't blame you.
And, some people out there have been working hard on projects. And I know one in particular here that has been working very, very hard on a project here lately. A very hard project, one that is not easy, one that does not, it takes discipline, it takes everything, it takes all of the above, all the strength you have to do. And you're going to tell us all about it. What's going on, Nicole?
Oh my gosh. So I am publishing my 8th book coming up April 25th here. So I'm a traditionally published author. So this is my first big self-published book. And let me tell you, it is a learning curve.
Nice.
Right? Learning curve. I mean, you did it, Todd. You know how it all goes. Your book is amazing. Amazing. If you haven't read Todd's book, please do. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. This book, The Afterlife Chronicles, exploring the connection between life, death, and beyond. Lots of topics in there, lots of contributors provided stories, and all of those together showcase, if I had to summarize it in one sentence, that there's a connection between life, death, and beyond. And so, and our loved ones were, they're always with us all the time, and we can talk with them whenever we want. And there's this just undying connection between mortality and the afterlife, where physical death, is really just the beginning. So I worked hard on it. So I really hope people enjoy it and get something out of it. And so it'll be available April 25th on Amazon, also going through Ingram. So it'll be, distributed through all the retailer outlets. So good stuff.
Huge
A lot of work.
news.
A lot of so much. It's a lot. It's a learning curve. It really is to
I know.
self-publish.
Big congratulations to you.
Thank
It's a
you.
lot, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
It's a lot.
Likewise, Todd. Likewise.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun here, folks. Now, tonight we're going to be kind of stepping back from ghosts and ghouls and things of that nature. And we're going to kind of get on the softer side of the paranormal with the metaphysical world. We're going to talk with Leslie about her psychic journey. We're also going to be discussing some past life, maybe past life regression, crystals, healing, all kinds of things. Take your questions, of course, for Leslie, and we're going to talk about her new book, Find Your Twin Flame. All of that's coming up. So you guys stay tuned. Stay tuned here for the shameless book plug, and we're going to be back here in just a moment. Everybody take care. You're of course watching Haunted Voices right here, WLTK-DB. We'll be right back. Seven minutes past the hour already. Holy cow. It's already March or April. It's April.
It is April.
It is April already. April the 7th.
I know it. I just get gray hairs thinking about it, folks.
This is crazy on how fast things are going and how crazy the weather is. I think it's that whole HARP thing, folks.
Oh, I
What do you
know.
think?
Yep.
It's that whole government controlled weather system crap. No, but coming up this month, I just want to get it out there real quick. April 14th next week, Rob Thompson of the Ghost Finders is going to be joining us here. He's a spirit medium. April 21st, we welcome back Lisa Crick and Nicole Tito, ghostly-voices.com. They're going to be joining us on April 28th. A Flash of Beauty creators, Toby Johnson and Brett Eichenberger. What a beautiful documentary that is. That is the most gorgeous one I've seen in a long time.
Wow,
It's
that's
like
amazing.
all 4K and
Oh yeah,
right
good
there.
stuff. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I love the title too.
A Flash of Beauty.
I love that.
Bigfoot revealed. Yeah, pretty neat stuff. And tonight, of course, we have got none other than author, psychic medium Leslie Sampson joining us here. We're going to bring her up here real quick. Leslie, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
You said about we were going to the softer side of the paranormal. Obviously, you don't know me. I do a team. Okay, so here we go.
Got it. And there is so much here to talk with you about. First of all, is your journey. I mean, every psychic has a journey. They say we're born with the ability. We're born with the gift. Some choose to use the gift. Others choose to close it off. What about your journey? What started with you, and what made it all click?
Well, I actually was born this way, as Lady Gaga says, but I actually was born psychic medium. I was this way throughout my whole childhood. It wasn't until I was about a teenager that I had an experience that really just kind of really closed me off. I didn't want to have any connection with spirit, and I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I kind of started putting up walls and ignoring my experiences and my gifts and things like that, and ignoring my connection with spirit. And it stayed that way until 2006. And that was when I started having, I'd always had I restricted my experiences to my dream state. And I started having recurring dreams, and all of a sudden, boom, this soul came crashing through into my dream state and totally turned my world entirely upside down. And that's really what started me on this part of the journey. And from that point, I started learning. I started reading books. I went to classes. I went to a spiritualist church, basically with the intention of trying to shut this guy up, because I didn't know how to do that. And I ended up learning, hey, you know what? I'm not the only person in the world that has these experiences, but I really did think I was. And it's not bad. It's who I am. It's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to use this to not only help people on this side of the veil, but also those on the other side of the veil as well.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what started me down the rabbit hole. And hi, Mom. My mother's watching.
Mom,
Love it.
And so that's really what got me started down this sort of rabbit hole, as I call it. And as it turns out, this soul that busted through and kind of turned my life completely and totally on its head turned out to be my twin flame.
My goodness.
that is absolutely fun. I mean, I have chills. That's phenomenal.
It is.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a Virgo. I was very skeptical. I still am in some things,
Certain ways, sure.
Yeah. But I didn't really want to believe it at first. Yeah, okay, I'm going crazy, but you start to get the validation, and you start to work with other people, and you start to get, oh my God, I'm talking to this person in spirit, and the person sitting in front of me can actually recognize this person. What? So, then you start to go, wait, I'm not crazy. This is actually really happening. Okay, I don't need a padded cell right now, because I honestly did think that in the beginning that my brain was just making this guy up, and I didn't know what was going on. And then I started to meet other people. And so it really, when I say that it completely and totally changed my life, an example is, once upon a time, I like to be invisible. You would have never seen me do this. Ever. I prided myself on not speaking in public. Hardly spoke to people I knew, hardly spoke to family. I liked to be invisible. That's where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm talking to people all over the world. And that, to me, demonstrates the complete and total change in my life that this entire journey has perpetuated.
Wow.
I love
what an
hearing stories
awakening.
like this. I know. Exactly. An awakening is a perfect word for that.
Yes, thank you. And I never thought about it that way until people said, yes, I love you.
Yes, nice to see you. She says too, we need a reunion.
Amen, girl. Let's do it.
Transformation, that's a good word too.
Transformation is wonderful. Thank you, Courtney.
Yep.
But I just, it was just so profound. And then when I started to learn about the concept of like I didn't believe in reincarnation, I didn't believe in past lives, I had never heard twin flame. I've heard soulmate, but never twin flame, which they're not the same thing, by the way. But when I started learning about these things, I was like, I told my spiritual team, I said, okay, prove it to me. And they did. Every conversation, every class, every message from spirit that I received, everything provided some piece of information. Even if I was taking a class about some history project, like I love history, and it was some random class I was taking at a library near where I lived, and boom, started talking about reincarnation. So, it seems really good at proving it to me, and so that's actually the genesis of my book.
Love it.
Okay.
Love the cover too. The cover.
Thank you.
Love it.
This the designer Llewellyn actually and I worked with that together, and I was like so excited. But every single thing in this book is actually my team proving to me not only the existence of twin flames, but that my twin flame is real and the concept is real. So I'm a Virgo.
Okay. So you have a soulmate and you have a twin flame.
I need to correct you, Todd, just a little bit. I hope you don't mind.
No, please do.
You have a twin flame.
A twin flame.
And a bajillion soulmates.
Okay.
A soulmate. Would you like me to elaborate on that? Is that okay?
Oh, please do.
Absolutely.
Please do.
God, yeah.
Honestly, most people use them, in exchange with one another. They think they're the same thing. And I did it first too, but no, they're not. A twin flame is literally a soul that has the same spiritual DNA, the same soul blueprint, and the same, spiritual divine makeup as yours. They're equal. Okay, and there's only one, by the way. A soulmate is basically a soul that you encounter that vibes with you. So that this could be someone who comes into your life for a second to make you smile, or it could be someone like a partner who comes in to help, totally and completely not change your life, because twin flames do that, but totally and completely assist you from the ground up. So, twin flames, this is how I always say it, twin flames make the mess and soulmates clean it up.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, so, but you can have so many soulmates. Like, it could be, like I said, from someone who just makes you smile to someone who literally, can marry your soulmate.
And that's a good point to know too, because I think a lot of people, even myself, sometimes forget like, well, there's only one soulmate, and when in reality, no. I mean, there can be more than one.
Yeah. But that's what I mean about being interchangeable between twin flames and soulmates.
Right. So what about groups of people that you hear that are a part of the same soul group, but yet there's only one twin flame? So what's the difference between, let's say you have a group of people that are in your soul group, but then only one of these can be my twin flame?
Well, a soul group doesn't necessarily mean that it contains your twin flame. These are just souls that gravitate around you in a specific time, or you gravitate around them in your soul universe. That's what I call our happy little universe of souls. We all kind of we're all kind of our sun in our own little soul universe. And so each specific time, you can have a different soul group. Now, your family could be your soul group. Your close best friends could be your soul group. It depends on what's going on in your life. But it's only when your soul is ready for that complete and total transformation, that life-changing moment, when you're ready when you're ready to transform yourself from being invisible to being on necessarily on a global stage, when you're ready, that's when your soul group can actually expand to include your twin flame.
Right. Okay. That yeah, makes sense.
But I mean, you're always connected.
Right.
But there's a connection, sort of like an umbilical cord that connects you throughout all space,
Okay.
all space and time. So, but it's only when you're ready that you can actually draw you can draw your twin flame to you to bring them in closer. And physically.
And you did that in the dream state.
I didn't even know it.
That's pretty amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah, I've had so many people ask me, well, have you found your twin flame? I said, well, no, he actually found me. So, and that does happen, because I was, I guess you could say, there are different roles within the twin flame relationship, and they're very commonly used in the twin flames universe, runners and chasers. And they are exactly what they sound like. I was the runner. I was the one that was reluctant to change. And so the dynamic has changed in our relationship over the years, but I'm still kind of the runner. But the goal is to be able to assist one another, because we have a goal, we have a purpose, we have a lesson that we're here to learn, whether or not we're both incarnate or not.
Wow.
That
This guy's solar system, we can call it.
the solar. I like that.
That's ingenious.
That's awesome, Courtney. Thank you. I love it.
Yep.
Courtney, you need to coin that real quick. Yes. Somebody else you better coin that real quick. No, but there's so much wrapped up into this, and what brought you in to this connection, this journey that you've had, the energy you put forth. Let's talk about the book. How did you pack everything in to a book that you've just explained? I don't. Wow. I mean.
Well, can I say? I mean, I know that every author that I have ever met in my entire life says, it took me a long time to write this book. This book took me 15 years. But it wasn't 15 years of writing it. It was 15 years of actually doing the research, the living, the experiencing, the actual working with my twin, who I nicknamed Chico. I talk about him a lot in this book. And actually learning from him and vice versa. And going through everything that I needed to learn. Because when you're in this, on this path, on this journey with your twin flame, it's not just having the two halves of one soul come together. You're literally working on your inner crap.
Yeah.
All that stuff that you carry on, I call it my emotional baggage. I'm an emotional hoarder. I hang on to it. So that's the kind of stuff that you start dealing with and bringing forward and getting rid of in order to prepare your soul to kind of sort of elevate it, kind of bring it up to the next energetic level, if you say. So, and I honestly, I have notebooks full of research, and when it came to writing, my original draft was 400 pages.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, obviously, I edited it, but I began to see the methodical way that not just my twin flame, but also my spiritual team, my team of guides, angels, etc. The kind of path that they were leading me on, because there were clumps of information that went together.
Right.
And a perfect example is astrology. Y'all, I don't know astrology. Like, I didn't from the back of my head, I didn't know astrology. And I just thought it was just, your daily horoscope. Obviously, it is not. It is so much more than that. But I couldn't get it. So I finally asked my team, like, why are you bringing me astrology when it makes no sense to me? And I had this understanding of, you're not seeing it correctly. So then they showed me an entirely different way to use astrology and the concepts and the principles of astrology to help define and prove the twin flame relationship, which we talk about in the book. And it's not as deep as we didn't do a deep dive into the deep end of the 12th house. We didn't do that, but it actually shows you that a twin flame will not incarnate without a way to prove themselves and to show themselves and to demonstrate it. And why are you working so hard to prove it when the evidence is right in front of your face? So, yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, what? I just learned about all these transits and intersects. And now you're telling me that, yes, this is helpful, but I need to look at it a different way. So it brings it all together. And once I started to see that pattern,
Mm-hmm.
but it's sort of kind of right itself, honestly.
Yeah.
I say that like I didn't do it, but I did. But like it just kind of flowed so easily.
It flows. It just comes out.
Sorry,
Wow.
way to answer your question. But
Oh my goodness, no. That's the beauty of talk shows. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, this is very beautiful. I mean, it's very private, that specific dream, but so obviously you don't have to share, of course, whatever you'd like. But in that dream, let's say others might have a similar dream experience, and then they don't know necessarily when they wake up, wow, I met my twin flame. Are there any hints that you can give people on the signs of that, or is it just so different for each person?
Some of the things that I have noticed and picked up on just in working with other people,
Mhm.
and in addition to my own experiences, is that when things like this occur in the dream state or in meditation or in an altered state, whatever it is, okay. Have you ever had a dream where you're talking to a loved one on the other side and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, that was a dream?
Yeah.
Their
Yes.
presence was
Yes.
so present. Their energy was so there that it's undeniable. That is always evident, always present when we're talking about the twin flame.
Wow.
And
Oh.
so it's like, I'll tell you the dream if you really want to hear it. I actually write about it in the book, so I can tell you.
Oh, if you want. Yeah, I didn't know if it was super, super
Oh,
private.
no. Well, okay, I'll skip the private part, but no, just kidding. So I was a fiction writer. I still am. Before I started down this rabbit hole and on this journey with my twin flame, and I was doing research, and I started having experiences where the computer would flicker and things would move and change and switch, and I didn't know what was going on. And then shortly after, I started having this recurring dream. And in this dream, I was always sitting in a sort of director's chair, staring at a script of scenes that I wrote. I'm not a screenwriter. I don't know the first thing about writing a script, okay? But I'm always looking at this screen, and then there are two actors in front of me, one of whom I recognized, and I was like, what the heck is my subconscious doing to me? Why is this person in my dream freaking me out? So I'm focused on trying to figure out what that person is doing in my dream. And it took me the better part of almost 2 weeks to figure that out. I was supposed to be looking at the other one. The other actor in the scene got tired of waiting and finally got right in front of my face. Like, can you feel this when I do this? Can you feel when I move my energy forward?
Oh, wow.
It projects it differently. So he got
Whoa.
right in my face and was like, hello! And I woke up and I was terrified.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what started it. I was supposed to be paying attention to him and not the other guy. And, but my rule back then was you can come and visit me in my dreams if I was related to you or if I knew you. You had to prove it, though, if I didn't know who you were. That's how you were related to me. Because of having just different experiences. I didn't know this guy from Adam. I had no idea who he was. And all of a sudden, bam, he's in my dream and I don't know what's going on. And what is this? You know, and I still, like, for the better part of 2 years, it took to figure out that it was just time for him to come in and help me sort of rearrange everything and turn everything up on its head. And I give him credit, and he always says to me, I didn't do it. You did it. But it took 2 years to figure out that that's what he was doing. And then at the end of that 2 years is when I learned that I learned of the concept of twin flames and that he, in fact, was mine. And
Wow.
yeah, and this first, the first couple of years was spent actually learning about him. I didn't know anything about him. Okay, obviously you're on the other side. What's your name? Where are you from? My list of Barbara Walters questions. So what's your name? Who are you from? How'd you pass away? The same questions that I ask every time spirit comes through. I have a list of questions. It's basically they have to give me a dossier with as much information as possible, or that that I can hopefully pick up from them, is what I should say. And so I spent all of that time learning about him and having him guide me to different resources that could help me understand more about him, people who knew him when he was here. Like an ex-girlfriend, bless her heart, she was astonished when I said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? We're still very good friends now. But it was weird. all of a sudden I'm talking to strange people I've never met in my life about something that I kept very, very personal and private. Hey, I talk to dead people. I never said that out loud. Not even to my own family. I mean, my mom is watching this, which in itself is a miracle. Because
that would flip me out. I would fill my pants. I'm telling you.
It's just it's a miracle. It's a blessing now. But all this started. It was hard to explain to people who've known me my whole life that, oh, by the way, the reason why all this stuff happened when I was a kid is that they weren't imaginary friends. They weren't imaginary friends, Mom. They were real people.
I can relate. Yep, I can relate.
But Chico brought all of this stuff out. So that's why when I work with people and they talk to me about how everything is just kind of freaked them out and flipped upside down since they encountered their twin flame, I'm like, yes, welcome to the club. This means you've actually encountered your twin flame. That's one of the ways to recognize your twin flame, is that everything just goes completely and totally upside down and inside out. Not always in a bad way. It's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be hurtful or painful or anything like that. Except, you're doing your inner work, and sometimes that's terrible. I mean,
it happens.
We can't help that. But the relationship itself is supposed to be symbiotic, and it's supposed to be something that you work to achieve a higher goal. And I know that one of our many, because we have 412 probably, one of our many goals that Chico and I worked towards was to be able to open the door to the things that we've learned and share it with people. And so that was another reason why we went ahead and put it all on paper, because, you know, I could sit here and talk to you for hours about it, but it was just such a beautiful process being able to do that and walking that step together. And we wrote as we did it, and that's why the original draft was so long. And there ended up being about 100 drafts.
Wow.
I can imagine.
I can imagine.
100 drafts. So, and it was just, it was a beautiful experience. It was a pleasure to do that. But
absolutely,
that was our whole goal, was to get everything that we've worked together and everything that we've experienced, and everything that we've helped others through as well, get it out there, because so many people, I learned this, so many people have such a small understanding of the twin flame, anything, relationship, the concept. Like me, I had no idea. And the things that they do read, especially on the internet,
yeah.
wow.
Good stuff.
Gurus and teachers and all kinds of stuff. And every single one of them have a different opinion, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But when you're a speaker and you're trying to understand, especially someone who's completely and totally brand new like I was, it's hard to put all of that into one. So that was another reason why we wanted to share our experiences with us, with others.
What about humans and animals? Can they be twin flames?
Absolutely. Yes. There isn't, and I say this because I
wanted your opinion on that, because
Yep. Good question.
Twin flames, when they incarnate, I know that some people believe that there's a rule that if you can't incarnate as an animal if you were a human in a previous existence, etc., etc.
Okay.
I have learned that that's not the case. You incarnate onto Earth or whatever planet in whatever galaxy you want to go on, with the purpose of that's for the best and highest. So, for example, Chica and I were on this earth at the same time for many years, and then he passed away. And I didn't know this until I encountered an animal who reminded me of him. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
You're here? Like, and that goes into some really next level soul stuff. But I was like, how are you here? And that's when I, continue my journey of learning. But I was like, and it's happened for other people too. Like, I have a friend who was married to her twin flame, and he passed away. He passed with cancer, and bless his heart. But he loved cats. And shortly after he passed away, she got a cat, and not thinking about it, she just wanted a companion. The cat had the same color eyes as her husband did. So she went to another friend of mine who's an animal communicator, who knew nothing about this situation, and come to find out it was another existence, her twin flame incarnate, her husband. So it does happen. Absolutely. I know. I'm sorry. That's a really long way to answer your question.
No, I love it.
That's awesome.
It seems like there's a sense too, like this, all-knowing sense that there's something different with the twin flame,
The soul knows. The soul will recognize its match every time without fail. So even if I have a dog, so there was a time where I looked at her kind of like, Chico, is that you in there? It would have been fun. But I know that if there was an instance where it would serve our best and highest for him to come into another existence on this plane as a horse or something like that, I know it would happen. Absolutely. And so that's why I can say, from someone who's completely skeptical about reincarnation, I can 100% say it would happen.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to be skeptical about it. It's just, It doesn't add up. You know, you I don't know, reincarnation, it just seems like all these second chances, but what you don't get right in this life, perhaps you get another life to try and make it right. I don't know.
You know what, though? I'm starting to think that that's not actually the point and purpose of coming back. Because I swear to God, if that was the point, I would have given up a long time ago because I'm tired.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I really think that it has more to do with soul evolution than anything. Like, it's not about giving yourself a second chance to get, a lesson that you didn't learn right. It's more about what part of your soul blueprint can you work on that will evolve your soul to the next energy burst or the next energy level. And I really do think that that's more what it's about than oh God, I was a king and I was a horrible king, and so now I got to come back and relive a crappy life so I can pay back.
I can see that. I can see that.
And don't get me wrong, I've had plenty of lives like that where I'm old soul. So, and when I open my Akashic records and I ask, hey, show me my first existence. And let me tell you, you talk about Jurassic Park. I was scared. I was like, where am I? Like, I didn't recognize anything. And it was just nothing but jungle and beautifulness. And I was like, am I even on Earth? But I'm old. My soul is old. But yeah, when I learned about the Akashic records, which I'm writing about now, that's my next book.
Well, the Akashic records.
Yeah.
How does one access them? I mean, it takes discipline, it takes knowledge, it takes experience, doesn't it? Or is it just something you just open up in your mind?
Let me tell you, there are two schools of thought about that, and I can see the point for both of them. One school of thought is you have to be attuned, and you have to have knowledge, and you have to work in the records for a certain amount of time before you can just boom open them. Another school of thought is it's your energy. You are the key to your own energy within the Akashic records. Why do you have to be attuned to your own energy? And I kind of have one foot on both of those because I've been attuned to it. I can open the records for other people and read their records for them. But when it comes to myself, I always ask for a higher perspective of it. So I ask for the Lords of the Records or the High Governors or whoever you want to call them to come in, beings of light, to come in and help me gain a different perspective so that I'm not sort of, I guess, using my opinion to gather information. But I truly believe that if you set your intention,
I was just going to say, intention.
Yeah.
Literally just going to say.
Yeah, if you set, I'm psychic, did you know that? Anyway, so, if you set your intention, I always think that intention is best set in sort of like a prayer form. So I always ask, hey, folks up there, dear agents of light, can you, please let me in, please give me the blessing of seeing myself through your eyes. And also, by the way, here's my intention. Here's what I really want to know. Because it's kind of like, if you don't set your intention and you just go up and open the records, it's kind of like a kid in a candy store on Christmas. Like, you get you get everything. And I don't know about you, but if you're an old soul, the Akashic Records houses every single thing your soul has ever experienced throughout all space and time. So if you're an old soul like myself, can you imagine how much information that is? So that's why intention is important. So how do you access the records? Intention.
Intention. Yep.
Intention.
That's the word.
Some people will say you need a specific prayer. Like I learned Linda Howe's prayer process, her prayer pathway, in order to open the Akashic Records when I first started learning. And it's fine, it's great. But then the more you work on the records, the more you're like, oh, wait a minute. this is how I vibe with accessing it. This is how I work. Just like anything else you work with. I work with spirit best this way. I open the Akashic Records best this way. So I always advise, set your intention. And a lot of times, here's my intention that I use. You want to use it? Great. And then work from that. Find what works for you. I always tell people, take what makes sense and then leave the rest behind, because the only thing that makes sense is what you're supposed to learn and that is means something to you.
Great.
So yeah. So my intention is literally, I call upon the agents of light to shine down and allow me to come into your presence and see myself through your eyes. I would like to learn more about my twin flame. I have questions. I need help answering these questions. And then I list, once I get up there, I list the specific questions. I ask this in the service of all the desires and that's for me and myself and my twin flame. And
Wow.
it is so it is. And that's literally it. So if somebody else says it's harder than that, I don't know by that, but
yeah,
that's exactly what I do.
That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you kind of universally shook me. I needed that. I learned a lot.
Good advice.
Of stuff.
Very good.
It's amazing
advice.
how this is working. Great advice. Yeah. Yes.
For somebody else, though, opening somebody else's records, it's a little different. You do have to have their permission.
Okay.
So
that makes, of course.
Yeah. Because I've had people try to open mine without my permission, and my team will sit there and go, okay, and just give all of this weird information that has nothing to do with me. And bless them, that's how I know that it would happen. It happened. So, but it's important for any walk, any metaphysical walk. If you're doing it for yourself, you have to have your permission from yourself, your higher self, you. And also, if you're helping somebody else, which is kind of my calling, I guess.
Yeah. I would say so. I would say so.
I could hear you talk about this all night. It's just so fascinating.
Amazing.
And I can tell you have a passion for it too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when I was clueless and I wanted help and I tried to ask questions, the very first thing somebody told me when I reached out to them, and it didn't matter who it was, from the famous folks all the way down to the not famous folks, I asked everybody. The first thing they asked me for was money. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with an energy exchange.
Equal, right.
It has to be equal, and I was like, okay, well, so every time that was part of it. Every time I gained information, I would share it. And so again, that's kind of where the genesis of the book came from, because there's just so much out there that it's not wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying somebody else's, work is incorrect, but there's so much out there that's confusing. I just want to let people make up their own mind.
Right.
So my goal is to try to help folks.
It sounds like you're giving them one hell of a foundation to make up that mind too.
Oh, so thank you.
This is amazing stuff you're doing. I mean, the mic is yours. Tell everybody about your book, about your website, lisasampson.com, how they can get in touch with you. Amazing.
Well, I just did. My book is called Find Your Twin Flame. It's on Amazon. It's actually on all the majors, but you can find it mostly on Amazon. The link is on my website, lesliesampson.com, and I just redid it, so it's super pretty. So drop me a line. Let me know how you feel about it. I have all of my services up online, and if there's something that you don't see that you have a question about, you can always email me, and I can try and help. And that's my goal. So I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it. I know.
You'll be back.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, man.
You'll be back, Leslie.
Thank you.
Scratch the surface on this one.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of different things we can talk
yeah.
about. So many different things.
They're like, you always talk too much. I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
I don't
Not at
apologize
all.
for that.
What you say
good.
has meaning. That's important.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's time for everybody listening to screw up and learn something. That's how it works.
I love
it. But thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy
Thank
schedule,
you.
Leslie. It's been amazing.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
You're
Absolutely.
welcome. Take care.
You too.
Good night.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Good
That's an eye
information.
opener. I mean, it kind of it puts your mind in a different mindset to where I have different things I can focus on now.
Yeah, it's
I
almost to
have-
get you out of the ego and more into yourself.
Yes,
you're-
more into the present,
kind of.
out of the ego.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's kind of the feeling I was getting.
yeah.
And
And the way she explained it was very, very well. Because
mhm.
something like that could get complicated when you're dealing with soulmates and twin flames and things. But wow, she said it beautifully. It was good stuff.
Yeah, but I can't wait to have her back on. Absolutely.
Now, before we go, those people just joining the good news, Nicole, tell them the good news.
Oh yeah. I have to do it all again. No, I'll keep
Do it all
short.
again. See, there it is.
All right, guys. So I'm publishing my 8th book. It's my first big self-published book because I'm a traditionally published author. Excuse me, The Afterlife Chronicles, exploring the connection between life, death, and beyond. And that will be out April 25th on Amazon. And then also I'm doing it through Ingram as well. So it'll be out pretty much everywhere books are sold. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It's freaking awesome. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I just got a new shipment into folks.
Yay.
If you guys want signed copies, those went pretty quick. That was fun. I love doing that stuff.
I know, right?
It's
It's better
It's a
to
lot
order the signed ones because most people want the signed,
I like when they do the signed copies instead of the Amazon and the Barnes and Noble stuff. It just makes it more personal.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Good stuff.
But we have got some amazing shows planned for you coming up. The producer show is going to be the next live show. That's going to be Sunday at 8 p.m. And then, of course, follow the schedule over there at WLTK-DB.com. Be sure to download our mobile app, and you can sync the calendar with yours. That's been updated. Danny updated that for us, thank God.
Ooh.
So all kinds of cool stuff going on with the station. Good changes underway. Good stuff coming, folks. So stay tuned. And from all of us here at Haunted Voices, we wish you a happy weekend and a safe weekend as well. A lot of storms out there. Be careful.
I know, right? Good night, guys. Have a great weekend.
Good night.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.